It often begins quietly, a few restless nights, a growing tension in your chest. You lie in bed, eyes wide open, listening to the stillness of the night. For many seniors, especially those in their 60s, 70s, and beyond across the US and Europe, this is not unusual. Sleep becomes more fragile with age. Hormonal changes, chronic pain, or simply the mind that won't turn off. Whatever the reason, restful sleep slips away like a memory. But here's the hopeful truth. You don't always need medication. Sometimes nature whispers what science is just beginning to confirm. Certain natural scents have a powerful calming effect on the nervous system, helping elderly individuals fall asleep faster and sleep deeper. In today's episode of Elderly Reflections, we explore 5-time learners' research-backed aromas that seniors are now calling their sleeping miracles. And before we begin, remember to subscribe and turn on the bell so you won't miss more elderly wisdom, senior health tips, and life-changing inspiration from the voices that matter most. It starts slowly. One night you lie in bed, eyes open, your body tired but your mind racing. The next week you find yourself waking up at 3:00 a.m., unable to return to sleep, watching the minutes crawl past. You try warm milk, soft music, maybe even a light snack. But nothing seems to work the way it used to. If you're over 60, especially in Europe or the US, you're far from alone. Studies show that nearly 50% of seniors experience some form of insomnia, whether it's trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, or waking too early. Sleep changes with age, not only due to hormonal shifts, but also changes in the nervous system, mood, and emotional processing. And yet, what most overlook is that the solution doesn't always have to come from a bottle of pills. Sometimes it comes from the past, from the earth, from a scent that once lingered in your grandmother's scarf or drifted through your childhood garden. This is the heart of elderly wisdom, not the absence of science, but the quiet embrace of what science has only recently begun to understand. In this first part of our series, we explore 2 natural scents that many seniors swear by: lavender and bergamot, each with its own story, its own science, and its own gentle magic. Let's begin with lavender. Known for its soft purple petals and floral aroma, lavender has long been used as a folk remedy for stress and sleeplessness. But modern research gives new life to that tradition. Lavender oil contains linalool and linalool acetate, which act on the limbic system, the part of the brain responsible for emotion and memory. These compounds promote relaxation by enhancing GABA activity, the same common neurotransmitter targeted by many sleep medication. A study published in Frontiers in Behavioral Neuroscience showed that older adults who inhaled lavender for 30 minutes before bed reported a 37% improvement in sleep quality, including falling asleep faster and waking up less during the night. But for many seniors, lavender is more than a remedy. It's a memory. Take the story of Mrs. Hensley, 83, a widow from Vermont who still tends to her lavender bushes even in winter. "I used to sleep fine," she said, when Bill was still here. "His breathing used to lull me to sleep. But now the house is too quiet, too wide." A nurse introduced her to lavender oil. At first she was skeptical. "I didn't believe in oils and all that, but I tried it for him. And I don't know, it felt like he was close again." Each night now she sprays her pillow with lavender mist, warms her feet with a wool blanket, and places a lavender sachet under her nightgown. "It doesn't knock me out like a pill, but it softens the loneliness." For Mrs. Hensley and many like her, lavender isn't just about inducing sleep, it's about restoring ritual, creating a moment that feels familiar, safe, and sacred. While lavender offers softness and emotional warmth, bergamot brings clarity. Bright, citrusy, and slightly floral, bergamot is often described as the scent that lifts the fog from a tired or anxious mind. You may recognize its aroma from Earl Grey tea, where it provides the delicate edge that makes the blend unique. But beyond taste, bergamot's essential oil, extracted from the peel of the citrus bergamia fruit, has remarkable neurological effects. Rich in limonene and linalool, bergamot has been shown to reduce cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. In a study from Phytotherapy Research, elderly patients who inhaled bergamot for 15 minutes each evening showed a 25% reduction in anxiety symptoms, along with longer sleep duration and improved sleep satisfaction. For those whose insomnia stems from emotional tension, grief, or overthinking, bergamot may offer just the kind of relief that sedatives cannot. One such case is Irene, 70, from Eugene, Oregon. After her husband passed unexpectedly, Irene found herself unable to sleep. "It was like my brain wouldn't shut off," she said. "I kept replaying the moment he collapsed, over and over again, Her daughter brought her a bergamot-scented balm. Honestly, I thought it was just fancy lotion. Irene chuckled. But after a few nights of rubbing it onto her chest and wrists before bed, she began to feel a shift. I still felt the ache, but the panic? It didn't grip me so tight anymore. She now calls bergamot her bedtime signal, a reminder that the day is over and she no longer has to hold everything together. It doesn't make me forget, it makes me breathe. Unlike lavender's embrace, bergamot feels like a release, a citrus-flavored sigh of relief at the end of a heavy day. Using these scents safely after 60. For lavender, the safest method is through diffusion, free of drops of essential oil in a water-based diffuser, or a gentle pillow spray made with distilled water. You can also use dried lavender in sachets or potpourri near the bed. For bergamot, try a drop or two diluted in a carrier oil, like almond or jojoba. Then apply lightly to wrists, collarbone, or the inside of your scarf. Be aware, bergamot is phototoxic, meaning it can cause skin irritation in sunlight, so don't apply it before going outside. Seniors with respiratory conditions, sensitive skin, or those on multiple medications should consult a doctor before daily use. At Elderly Reflections, we asked subscribers what scents gave them comfort during sleepless nights. Lavender was the most mentioned. Bergamot came second. One man, 74, from Yorkshire, wrote, "Lavender makes me feel held. Bergamot makes me feel brave." Another woman in Naples, Florida, shared, "Bergamot reminds me of my mother's kitchen. I cry a little sometimes, but I sleep better after." In the end, these scents do more than soothe. What you really want to do is your suitcase. They remind the elderly that they are still whole, still sensitive, still able to feel. And sometimes what brings sleep is not sedation, but the feeling of being gently understood. In the next part, we'll meet two more powerful scents. One was used by Roman soldiers to calm their spirits before battle. The other, harvested from ancient trees, brings a sense of grounded strength to seniors facing anxiety, grief, or emotional fatigue. Join me there. We're just beginning to rediscover what the natural world has always offered those who listen. If lavender wraps you in memory and bergamot lifts the fog from your thoughts, then chamomile is the warm hand that steadies your heart. Long before it became a staple in bedtime teas, chamomile was used by ancient Greeks and Egyptians to calm the body and restore balance to the spirit. In today's world where older adults struggle not just with sleep, but with the hidden tension that creeps into their joints, breath, and thoughts, chamomile offers something rare. A permission to let go. Chamomile, especially the Roman variety, Chamomillum nobilum, contains apigenin, a natural compound that binds to GABA receptors in the brain, just like some anti-anxiety medications, but without the dependency or drowsy side effects. In a 2021 clinical study published in the Journal of Advanced Nursing, seniors who inhaled chamomile essential oil for 20 minutes before sleep experienced a 44% improvement in sleep latency and significant reductions in nighttime muscle tension and restlessness. It's not just a mild herb, it's a deeply effective sedative that works gently, quietly, and safely for the aging nervous system. George, a retired train conductor from Birmingham, now 79, had struggled with leg cramps and nighttime restlessness since his early 70s. "I'd lay down fine," he explained, "but by midnight my legs would twitch, my hands would clench, and my heart would beat like I'd run a race." He tried magnesium, stretching, even prescription pills. Nothing worked well until he discovered chamomile through an aromatherapy workshop at his local senior center. "They passed around a little bottle," he said. "I took one whiff and suddenly I was 6 years old again, standing in my mom's garden." He now places a bowl of hot water with chamomile oil near his bed, letting the steam rise as he reads. "My legs still act up sometimes," he admits, "but my mum is calm. That's the real win." Chamomile for George didn't fix everything, but it gave him enough calm to rest, to heal, and to face tomorrow with a bit more strength. Unlike chamomile's gentle floral nature, cedarwood brings something else entirely. Its aroma is warm, woody, grounding, like the forest floor after a rain. Used since ancient Mesopotamian times for emotional and spiritual purification, cedarwood brings something else entirely. Or Juniperus virginiana contains cedral, a compound shown to reduce sympathetic nervous system activity, slow breathing, and lower heart rate. For older adults dealing with grief, loneliness, or feelings of being untethered, cedarwood provides a sense of rootedness, a reminder that even when everything changes, some things, like the smell of earth and bark, remain steady. A study published in Physiology and Behavior found that older adults who used cedarwood oil at bedtime experienced a 26% improvement in deep sleep cycles and reported feeling more emotionally secure upon waking. That last phrase, emotionally secure, is important for many seniors, especially those living alone. Retirement can bring with it an unsettling feeling of emotional drift. You're no longer needed at work, your children are grown, your friends may be gone, and when the lights go out, that quiet can feel like a kind of vanishing. Martha, 72 from Montana, knew that feeling well. After her husband passed, she moved into a smaller home by herself. The days were manageable, gardening, knitting, phone calls from the grandkids, but the nights were harder. I used to sleep through the sound of cattle and coyotes, she said. Now the silence was too loud. Her son, a clinical aromatherapist, gave her a cedarwood diffuser, said it would help me feel safe. At first she wasn't sure, it just smelled like old furniture, she joked. But one night after a long cry, she turned on the diffuser and sat quietly in the dark. It smelled like the barn we built together. It smelled like the barn we built together. Like the fence he hammered himself. Like strength. Since then she diffuses cedarwood each night. It reminds me that I've survived many storms. I can sleep through this too. Cedarwood for Martha wasn't about sleep alone. It was about restoring emotional safety. Something no pill can provide. Using them safely. For chamomile, try adding 2 to 3 drops of essential oil to a bowl of steaming water and inhaling gently before bed. Or use a diffuser for 30 minutes in your bedroom. Some seniors prefer using chamomile-infused massage oil to rub into their hands and feet. A method that combines relaxation with mild circulation support. For cedarwood, diffusion is the best method. 3-4 drops in a diffuser, ideally blended with a drop of orange or frankincense, for a richer, earthy tone. Avoid direct skin application unless properly diluted, as some sensitive individuals may experience irritation. Always use high-quality, therapeutic-grade oils and speak to your doctor if you're on medications for anxiety or blood pressure. Elderly Reflections community members have written to us about the impact of these scents. One 78-year-old from Sweden shared, "Chamomile reminds me of my mother tucking me in during wartime blackouts. Cedarwood? That reminds me that no matter how old I am still grounded." Both chamomile and cedarwood remind us that rest is not only a biological need, it's a spiritual right. And for seniors who have given so much of their lives to work, family, duty, and survival, these scents are a soft whisper that says, "It's okay now. You can let go. You've earned your peace." In the final part, we'll reveal one final scent, often overlooked yet powerful in its ability to reduce inflammation, calm the breath, and signal the brain that it's finally safe to surrender. Alongside that, you'll hear the story of an 80-year-old man whose restless sleep turned into a sacred nightly ritual, thanks to this fragrance. And we'll gather all the lessons we've learned so you can build your own nighttime sanctuary. Join me there, where the light dims gently, and the wisdom of the elderly guides us to where sleep waits patiently. Some nights, sleep doesn't come because of noise or pain. It's not the light, not even the temperature. Some nights, sleep hides because the soul is still too awake. For many seniors, especially after 70, sleep is no longer a simple physical act. It's a crossing, a surrender, and that's why the final scent in this series matters more than most. Because sandalwood doesn't just help you sleep, it helps you feel safe enough to let go. Sandalwood has been used for over 4,000 years in rituals of prayer, mourning, and healing. Its aroma is soft, creamy, subtly sweet but woody, with an almost sacred stillness to it. While Western medicine only recently caught up to its neurological benefits, cultures across India, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia have long known. Sandalwood doesn't stimulate or sedate, it centers. The essential oil, derived from the heartwood of the Santalum almum tree, contains alpha-santalol, a compound shown to reduce wakefulness, activate the pineal gland responsible for melatonin release, and encourage deeper NREM sleep in older adults. A 2019 study in the International Journal of Neuroscience found that seniors exposed to sandalwood essential oil for 30 minutes before bedtime had significantly increased melatonin levels, improved sleep efficiency, and reduced nighttime awakenings. What's more striking was the emotional response. Participants described feeling more peaceful, more emotionally grounded, and even less afraid of the dark. This matters because emotional fear of mortality, of loneliness, of memory loss is one of the most unspoken reasons sleep escapes us in old age. Edward, an 80-year-old retired jazz pianist from Boston, used to be a night owl. "Back in the day, midnight was when the good notes came," he said with a wink. But after his wife passed and the piano grew silent, nighttime became too long, too quiet. I wasn't just tired, I was unsettled. Like I was floating and didn't know where I'd land. His daughter, a hospice nurse, brought him a small sandalwood diffuser. She said it smelled like stillness, he recalled. The first time he used it, he didn't sleep better right away. But he sat longer in the dark, more at peace. It's strange, he said. It didn't put me to sleep. It made me feel okay being awake, and from there, sleep came like a friend, not a thief. Now every evening before bed, Edward dims the lights, puts on a slow Coltrane tune, and lets sandalwood fill the air. It feels like closure, he said quietly, like turning the last page of a day. For many elderly people, sandalwood represents closure, a gentle, spiritual bow at the end of a long day. And this matters deeply, because the body does not fall asleep unless it feels safe. And many seniors, despite locked doors and warm beds, still carry internal tension. The weight of grief, the sting of regret, or the subtle fear of not waking up. Sandalwood doesn't erase those things, but it makes space for them. It creates an emotional silence where the spirit can breathe again. How to use sandalwood safely for seniors. There are several gentle, effective ways to integrate sandalwood into a bedtime ritual. The most traditional is incense, used in temples for millennia. But this isn't suitable for those with asthma or COPD. For elderly individuals, the diffuser method is safer. Place 3 to 4 drops of pure sandalwood album, Indian sandalwood or Santalum spicatum, Australian sandalwood, into a water-based diffuser, turn it on 30 minutes before bed, and let the scent fill the room softly. Alternatively, mix 2 drops of sandalwood oil with a carrier oil like sweet almond and massage into the soles of the feet. This practice, rooted in Ayurvedic medicine, is said to calm both the mind and the nervous system. Sandalwood also blends beautifully with vanilla, frankincense, myrrh, or even rose for seniors who prefer a more comforting or floral note. Always avoid synthetic sandalwood oils, as they lack the neurological benefits and may contain harmful solvents. For those who can't afford the often high price of pure sandalwood oil, sandalwood-scented sachets or room sprays made with natural wood shavings can be a gentle, cost-effective alternative. As always, anyone with respiratory issues, severe allergies, or on sedatives should consult a healthcare provider before use. Now, if you've followed this series from the beginning, you've seen how each scent plays its role in the orchestration of rest. Lavender holds your emotions, bergamot clears the mental clutter, chamomile softens the muscles and breath, cedarwood anchors the heart, and now sandalwood completes the ritual, reminding the spirit it has permission to rest, not just sleep. Each of these scents, when used with care, becomes part of a ritual, not just a routine, and ritual matters, especially for the elderly, because the world often forgets what older people carry. The griefs that were never voiced, the changes no one prepared them for, the long quiet nights where identity slowly fades. But scent has memory. It bypasses logic, reaches straight into the soul, and when used intentionally, these natural aromas can restore a sense of rhythm, presence, and dignity to the aging sleep cycle. A 77-year-old subscriber of Elderly Reflections from Lisbon wrote, "I've stopped chasing sleep. Now I welcome it with ceremony." And isn't that what this is all about? Reclaiming sleep not as a struggle, but as a sacred transition. Not an absence of wakefulness, but a returning to the self, to peace, to stillness. Elderly wisdom teaches us that we don't sleep because we're tired. We sleep because we trust. These 5 scents help build that trust, not just with our surroundings, but with ourselves. So tonight, wherever you are, whether it's a small flat in Manchester, a porch in Texas, or a quiet room in a retirement home in Bavaria, may your evening be marked by something simple, something scented, something sacred. May lavender embrace your emotions, may bergamot untangle your thoughts, may chamomile loosen what aches, may cedarwood remind you of your roots, and may sandalwood close the day with peace and permission. Because here's the truth that Elderly Reflections believes in. Sleep after 60 is not a routine, it's a return. A return to calm, to self, to the quiet dignity of simply being. These scents are not cures, they are companions. Each one invites you to make bedtime something more than just getting through the night. It becomes a ritual of care, a small act of self. If this video gave you comfort or insight, I warmly invite you to like this video, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, and turn on the bell so you never miss the next story, the next moment of elderly wisdom and peace. And I'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching from tonight? Drop a comment below. I read every single one. Until next time, may your sleep be gentle, Your night's quiet and your soul at peace.